Annyeong, what is positive fam? I'm the Last Moon, and today I'm going to be telling you another story. Now, this is actually a recent story, very exciting news, but I was just recently accepted into a graduate program at Cornell University. For those of you who don't know, that's an Ivy League school, kind of like Harvard and Yale, but that's not the point. So it started in my senior year, right before my final semester. And I was thinking, I wanted to go to the medical route at this point. So what am I going to do with my life? And so I started looking online, looking for internships or research positions, hopefully that they would be paid. But I went on WorkPop. It's a site that allows you to look for job openings. And I found this one that asked me to write, instead of a written resume and cover letter or whatever, but to actually make a video cover letter. And so I thought to myself, okay, let's see what we got. So this is what I made. I would classify the internship as a huge success because at the end of it, even though it was just a week long, he took my hand. I mean, take my hand, that'd be kind of weird. He shook my hand, looked me in the eye, and said that he wanted to partner with me on an idea that we had both come up where he finances and I create this virtual reality project that is used to help patients dealing with chronic pain, because he is a neurosurgeon specializing in spinal surgery, so he gets a lot of patients that deal with back pain. And so I started to teach myself how to not program, but how to use the Unreal Engine in order to edit things. And I bit off way too much more than I could chew, but it still gave me a framework and a bit of a work in progress, enough for me to create a trailer to kind of get a glimpse of what it would look like in the future. And I didn't actually show it to him. Instead, I thought about, graduate schools, because the reason why I was applying to graduate schools in the first place was because I needed a good computer to create the Unreal Engine, or to create the program in Unreal Engine 4. And the only way that my father would purchase this for me was if I studied for GREs and I applied to graduate schools. And so while I was applying to graduate schools, I was thinking, why not use this VR project as a way for me to maybe get my foot in the door? And so I started sending a bunch of cold emails. Most of them never replied, but I got this one reply from a professor at Cornell University. And so we got to talking, eventually spoke over the phone, connected, and he asked me, and the only reason why that was possible was because he really liked the demonstration trailer that I had made, and this is what it was. And so now this professor is connecting me with other professors and they give me advice. We exchange emails, blah, blah, blah. But then eventually it gets to the point where one of them convinces me that it's a fantastic idea to go and visit campus. And so I make the trip to go visit campus. I actually have a travel vlog of it. But afterwards, I get back feeling much more enriched, but I put my name out there. And so now I have finished my application and submitted it to Cornell University. And so I had time, but my grandfather is really old. He's like 90 years old, and he really wanted to see me before like anything really takes off or anything really happens. And so he flew me out to South Korea. I got to visit friends and family as well, but I finally checked my email at the end of my trip, and I look inside and I see my decision letter of my application, and unfortunately I wasn't admitted. I had originally applied for a PhD program, and so I was rejected from that. But in the letter it said that if you wanted to, you could you could alternate your application to go towards a master's instead. So it's almost as if they're testing me to see if I'm actually committed, because if I go through a master's program, I'm much more likely to be accepted into their PhD program. And so unfortunately, the deadline to turn in this alternate choice was almost 3 weeks after I'd received the letter. And so I was feeling extremely depressed because I'm thinking like, no, a life opportunity is just gone. Like, what am I going to do? And so I wrote an email back in desperation. And so here's what I wrote. First of all, there's a typo. Good start. I'm writing this email in extreme concern and worry while doing my best to maintain a positive atmosphere. I just found out about my unfortunate PhD application decision now because I've been in South Korea for a family emergency since the beginning of February. My grandfather is almost 90 and he's ill, but because of this, reconnecting with other friends and family and traveling around the country, I haven't been checking my emails. I usually get them sent straight to my phone, but since I don't have one that works in South Korea, I've been using another one temporarily. The decision was sent to my inbox on February 8th. I was informed that I was supposed to have emailed you by February 10th about being considered in the application pool for a master's in DEA. It has now been over 2 weeks, and with this understanding, I am on the verge of a borderline mental breakdown. Imagine me sitting down and holding my knees in the shower while listening to Celine Dion's All By Myself. Actually, you don't have to. Please see attached. It feels like an incredible life opportunity just slipped past my fingers and I'm not sure how to proceed. I'm so thankful that I was encouraged by the PhD staff to continue to pursue a place in Cornell. Apparently they only consider this option to a small number of people. Honor and humility are all I feel for this acknowledgement. And to think that this is going to be washed away because I made the mistake of ignoring my emails while I was traveling? To be frank, I'm sending you this email out of desperation and in the hopes that we may find a way for me to still be considered for acceptance and obtain a master's in DEA, specifically in human factors and ergonomics. Yet, I can't shake this ominous feeling that you will be reading this and thinking, yeah, sorry buddy, all full, as my figurative rubber tube is pushed away from shore so that I may drift to sea and never be seen again. Doing my absolute best to maintain a positive attitude, this is cutting me to my very core. I've already explained a lot and I have much more to say, but in order to be considerate of your time, I will end this here. Thank you so much for taking the time to read this. Really, it means a lot to me. I believe that I would make a great student and there are Cornell professors who would also agree. I visited campus and met remarkable faculty. I loved every second of it, and so there's nothing I would be more grateful for than this opportunity to join the Cornell family. I have CC'd in this email to extend my deepest gratitude for encouraging me to continue my studies. Sincerely, Dan Moon. And so I got an email back this week actually that said, thank you for your email on this day. You will hear from us shortly. And so now I'm thinking like, wait, for reals? Wait, what? This is actually really good news, because if I had, not been accepted, then first of all, they wouldn't have replied because it's just like you passed the deadline. Or second of all, it just didn't seem like they would, I don't know how to put it, but I feel like you understand where I'm getting at. And so there was hope. And so I checked back my email and I finally got this in my inbox. It was from Cornell University. And then I'm not going to read the rest of it, but it just says, Dear Dan, congratulations on your acceptance to Cornell University. Man, What a ride. It's incredible, really. To think that this journey started with a ridiculous video that I made really goes to show that it matters that you work hard at everything that you do, because you never know where you're going to end up, and see how far that hard work will carry you in the future. Your boy's about to be an Ivy League student. And with that, I'll end it off here. Thank you so much for watching if you have up to this point. And if you ever have a really bad day, please let me know. Keep it positive.